Hey kids, you're listening to A Couple of Annoyed Grunt Boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast. That's right, we're the Simpsons podcast that discusses the beloved animated sitcom The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond, and the newest ones when they are available. Why do we do it like this? Well, plenty of other podcasts out there have discussed the Golden Age, that being seasons 1 through 10, so we are out here in internet land to discover if any other episode can match those Golden Age episodes. And I say we because I just don't do this alone. I'm just Craig. Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig, if you will. With me is the other Annoyed Grunt Boy,
Steve. Hello, Craig. How's it going this week?
Not being productive at all, Steve, because I've just been glued to the old booby tubey.
Indeed. I have not left the screen in front of me for days, and my eyes really hurt, but it's all worth it.
What are we talking about? I mean, this probably would have been our intro talk last week, but like the day like our podcast dropped, or maybe like a day before, Disney just says, "Hey, check out our new 24/7 live stream on Disney Plus." And sure enough, I turn it on, and it's like season 1 episodes, and it's going in order. But I'm like, oh my god! Like, I know I can just turn this on anytime I want, but the fact they're just streaming it nonstop, no commercials, straight into one after the other. This is kind of what we wanted, right?
It's a dream, like just random episodes of The Simpsons. I mean, I guess it's not currently random, but just able to like watch The Simpsons as it comes without choosing an episode whenever you want. It's a dream. That's what I've always wanted.
Like, I know FXX plays like a couple hour block, but you're still stuck with commercials. This is, I think, definitely a plus for Simpsons fans and like Disney Plus. Like, we kind of got everything. I know we still want like a randomized button, so it's not like a stream, but just when you go to The Simpsons, it just says hit random, and then when it plays something. So I'm still looking forward to that, but we can't complain too much because we have this 24/7.
Yeah, this is the best possible streaming thing that we could get. If they could get it randomized and then also have audio commentary options, that would be great. But as it stands now, like, I don't want to complain too much because this is a great thing. And, for us Simpsons fans, like, I don't like to pick episodes because there's so many to choose from, and I don't want to just always go to my favorites. So this is a great opportunity for you to just turn on the TV and watch The Simpsons as they may come.
But I guess we're going to have to take our eyes off of the 24 stream from Disney and put our eyes onto an episode that we have to watch. But not that we have to, we choose to.
Right, we get to watch it.
Yeah, we get to watch it. This podcast is about The Simpsons, and we are going to watch an episode from the past, the distant past, Steve, all the way back to the year 2021. Steve, do you remember what you were doing in February of 2021?
Oh boy, well, it was in the middle of the pandemic, and we were celebrating a new president in office and keeping our distance. And that's, I think, what we're doing.
All right, sounds good. But I think we kind of opened up, right? Since then, we were actually going out to the cinemas because we had a movie that was the number 1 movie. And Steve, what would it be?
Well, of course, we're talking about an animated show, The Simpsons, and we're talking about another very popular animated show, especially in 2021, because the number 1 movie in the box office was Tom and Jerry.
Now, aren't they based off of Itchy and Scratchy?
I think so, yeah. That's what they ripped them off of, yeah.
This was like a live action / animated Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, that nobody really asked for. Like, I mean, I liked Tom and Jerry when I was a kid, but
sure.
I just don't know. Like, unless it was a Simon and Garfunkel biopic, I don't really want to watch it.
Oh, that's a great title for a biopic of them, which I'm surprised they haven't done yet. Jerry's the mouse, right?
Yeah, Tom.
Tomcat, Jerry Mice. Like, that's a full name for a mouse, right? A Jerry Mouse. Jerry Mouse. Yeah, Jerry's that little guy always looking up to good old Tom. That's how the relationship was. They're good old pals.
Yeah, sometimes and sometimes not. But hey, this movie's no slouch. It's got Chloe Grace Moretz, Colin Jost, and Ken Jeong.
Oh, Colin Jost. Yeah. Okay. But like I said, like Jerry Small, always looking up to Tom, right?
Yeah.
Because he wants to see Tom's wet-ass pussy. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why.
Oh, what's up with that? That's on the wrong page. Which brings us to our number one song, Up by Cardi B.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I'm on all sorts. I guess I'm not, feeling the best right now.
See, if I got you this ring that you can wear, it changes colors to show, your emotional spectrum.
Oh, wow, yeah, and it's real gold.
It's not quite 25, but it's over 23.
Yeah, and it looks like it's fancy. Like, I could wear it with my Kristen Dior suit.
And your favorite Bilbo Baggins actor.
Yes.
What are we talking about, Steve, for the hot rock alternative song?
Why, that's Mood by 24 Karat Golden, featuring Ian Dior.
Ian Dior.
Ian, the Kelley that you mentioned, he has, a classic friendship with Patrick Stewart, and, it's a great bond. It's a real tale of affection. At least that's the guy who makes the clothing says it's his version of the story.
All right, well, Steve, that's because Love Story by Taylor Swift, Taylor's version, of course, was the number one hot country song. Just hearing that song, Steve, gives me an R.L. Stine book.
Yes, The Mummy's Revenge. But that brings us to the number one dance hot electric song, Goosebumps, by Travis Scott and HMV. HMV. Home.
HVME. I thought there was why is the Y cut off here? I thought it was Heim. HYME. Heim. Anyways. These are pretty new songs, and I only know Love Story, Steve.
Yes, I know that we've talked about Mood, but I still don't know what 24 Golden is or Indior, and so there it is.
All right, well, let's just get on with this week's episode. Steve, we're talking about Wad Goals, Season 32, Episode 13. Bart becomes a successful caddy, but Marge worries it is ruining his character.
Woo!
I think the only thing that would ruin his character would be an eraser.
Ay caramba, you're right.
Maybe a coffee stain.
Yeah, tearing the paper.
Yeah. All right, Steve. We're going to hear a little ditty and come back and talk about this ditty.
Sounds great.
We'll be right back.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money.
And we're back. Today we're talking about Season 32, Episode 13, Wad Goals. It's the 13th episode of the 32nd season. It's episode 697 in the show's run. Originally aired February 28th, 2021. Your nerd code is QABF06. Written by Brian Kelley. Directed by Michael Polcino. And the showrunners are Al Jean.
That's right. Brian Kelley, we just talked about him recently. He's an American television writer. He's written for Conan, Saturday Night Live, News Radio, Clerks, Futurama, Joey, and of course The Simpsons. He's written 21 episodes, and this is the 13th we've reviewed. Most recently, we talked about 2 episodes ago, Treehouse of Horror 23, and he's also written Homer Goes to Prep School, which we did review at one point in time. The Lego episode Brick Like Me, The Surfsons, a fun little fantasy episode. Postcards from the Wedge, Lisa the Drama Queen, Magical History Tour, just to name a few. Some highlights that we have yet to review. Treehouse of Horror 13, The Princess Guide, Margine Chronicles 101 Mitigations, and Woohoo Done It. So we still have some to explore, but welcome back, Brian Kelley.
He likes to do a lot of those fantasy-esque episodes, with Brick Like Me and Surfsons. This episode, I'm assuming, because we haven't watched it yet, plays off more like a parody to a movie.
I would say probably, but what movies could that be? I don't know.
I'll go with Faces of Death.
Ooh, I would love that.
I never saw Faces of Death. I know that was Gen Xer kids, that was the tape that would circulate through schools. You gotta watch this, it's Faces of Death. You see dead people, but then they find out years later it was all staged.
Yeah, I think our version of that was 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
I was going to say Girls Gone Wild, those videos, because that's...
Yeah, that's true too.
Which is probably more problematic than the Faces of Death video.
Ultimately, I imagine so, yeah, because that guy, piece of shit.
Steve, he's going to bankroll his podcast, so...
Oh, we got Joe Francis money? Yay. He's great.
But yeah, Brian Kelley, God, we just talked about you a lot, Take a seat, buddy.
Yeah, come on. We know what you're about.
Do you think he was at the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special this last month?
Probably was. He's probably in the audience, but probably, didn't get to help out. He's just like, yeah, you can come.
Probably not in the Studio 8H, probably in the other, because they had to do spillover.
Right,
they couldn't
right.
get everybody in there, so probably just watching in the monitors over at CBS or something.
Yeah, he was next to Jenny Slate and the rest who were briefly were Saturday Night Live. Chris Elliott was there too.
Just throwing Jenny Slate under the bus because she said the F word, which of course was fuck, on live TV. And it's really not live because they have a delay.
Mm-hmm. And, it's not that big of a deal even then. It's bleep it. It's fine. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to The Princess Guide, the one we haven't reviewed yet, because maybe it's about a princess who has a guide.
Maybe it's a TV guide. My beloved publication.
Okay, Steve. Well, let's just begin the episode. And it begins, as it always does, with good old Ralph Wiggum leading the drumline teddy bears on parade day for the Parade Day Parade. In reality, though, it's just Ralph. He's walking in the middle of a busy street, blocking traffic. Sideshow Mel, in his sporty convertible, who's behind him, yells to clear the roadway because his antics are not convincing hundreds. Is this a joke on Ralph and fans of The Simpsons? Okay, your antics are getting kind of a tire now, Ralph.
Well, I hadn't thought about that, but I think you could be right. Because a lot of times the Ralphness of it all can get in the way of plot. So yeah, I think so.
But also, I think I agree with Sideshow there, because the town is just so used to Ralph being such a dummy. And they can't do anything about it because he's the police chief's kid. So, and I'm not saying they can't do anything about it by offing him, I'm talking about scolding him.
Right, suppressing him. Yeah,
yeah.
They're not going to kill him.
I don't want anyone to kill Ralph.
You say that a little bit too convincingly.
Anyway, so Ralph looks over his shoulder and he sees Mel Carr is actually a giant red bear, and Mel is a member of the marching band, praising Ralph's antics for delighting the people.
So the imaginary bear leading the parade instructs his Lord Ralph to follow him over some tall hedges, where the bear asks what could be hiding behind that great green wall. Could it be a choo-choo? Some buttons? A dog 10 feet tall? A series of question marks appear in front of Ralph's eyes, leading him into the bushes. He then returns, scratched up but wiser, saying that his eyes told him a secret. At school, he shares the eye secret with his fellow students.
Last day of school. Lot of fun memories in here. Furnace.
On it.
I know what's behind the big hedge because I went behind the big hedge and I saw what's behind the big hedge, and now I'm going to tell you. Yay! The big hedge, as in the big hedge? No one knows what's behind that thing. Although, a 7th grader once told me it was naked ladies setting off fireworks.
I heard it's where divorced parents go to get back together.
No, sir. It's where they hold the Independent Spirit Awards, if you call that independent.
No, it's the best playground ever. There's Easter eggs and baby cars that anyone can drive, and this many clowns in clown pants. Dang, that's hella clowns.
For those who don't watch the episode and just listen to us talk about the episode and have play clips, that one child's voice that you heard that sounded a little off, or you don't know who that was, well, that was their friend Lewis Clark, who never speaks, but had a line.
That's right. In fact, that was voiced by Kimberly Brooks, voiced Lewis Clark, and it's kind of the first and maybe only time that Lewis Clark has a voice, but he's, asking for the Spirit Awards. And I think it was funny that, Bart was saying that a 7th grader told him that it was naked ladies and fireworks, and Milhouse wishes it's where parents go back to get together, as if Beyond the Hedge is everyone's dream. And evidently Lewis Clark is a filmmaker because he wants to go to the Spirit Awards.
Steve, what's your dream behind the bush?
I mean,
all right. Hey, real quick, Kimberly Brooks, who does the voice there of Lewis, also does other episodes or other Simpsons voice, like Janie Powell and various children.
Oh, nice.
She has, as of this now, has been in 12 episodes, but you might have heard her talk on the cartoon show Harley Quinn. She's played some voices on that.
Oh yeah,
so a lot of voiceover stuff here. couple episodes of American Dad, The Young Jedi Adventures, Fairly Odd Parents.
This episode, we'll get to in a little bit, but it marks kind of a change in how The Simpsons and other shows approached casting certain voices. So that makes sense.
Also, Bart's last line there, the clip, like, dang, that's hella clowns. Like, I feel like the term hella was already obsolete by this time.
Yeah, and I did the map, and so if Ralph has 4 fingers on each hand, and he did the hand thing 3 times, that's 8 times 3, that's only 24 clowns. That's not hella clowns. I mean, it's a lot of clowns, but I don't know if it's hella clowns.
What's a hella clowns?
I would say at least 26, maybe 27.
I would say 666, Steve.
Yes, that is a hell of clowns.
Also, what number of end of school year is this for The Simpsons?
It's got to be like, well, there's been, at this point, 32 seasons, so at least 40. And also, they're ending school in February, which is weird.
Oh, yeah, this was because this episode aired in February?
Yeah, my wife's birthday.
Yeah, I think, as fans, I don't care if they have multiple episodes where it's the end of the school year, so...
Yeah, it's fine. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, get over it. Well, so looking to examine the hedge for themselves, Bart, Milhouse, Nelson, Martin, and Lewis follow Ralph to the mysterious green plant wall. As a cigarette-smoking raccoon chitters by, Nelson asks how the crotch they are supposed to get through the hedge. That's a good term. How the crotch am I supposed to do this?
What the crotch are you talking about?
Luckily for them, Bart, and everyone on their internet, has seen Homer go through similar foliage. So mocking that ever-present meme, Bart and the rest of the boys back into the hedge, much like Homer did in Season 5's Homer Loves Flanders. And I believe there was a newer episode he did it again.
Yeah, I think we just talked about that not too long ago.
And I got very nervous, again, watching this. I'm like, wait a minute, I just saw this. Did we review this episode? But we didn't go straight to reviewing new seasons until, like, season, 33?
Yeah, you're correct. So we're good on this. I still think we have plenty of 72 to review. How do you feel about this joke, though? Like, maybe not in 2021, but I feel like at this point, maybe it's actually come back now again, but I think there was a time when the Homer going into the bush was so overplayed that it got a little tired.
As for Simpsons, I don't think it was ever referenced until this episode, because I have vague memories of seeing this and like, oh my god, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's
Even
true.
though by 2021, I feel like that meme was probably at its height.
Mm-hmm.
And now you see, like, I get ads on Instagram all the time of like someone selling a green fuzzy jacket with the Homer embroidered on the back.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Or like, I think there was a pair of Adidas that had it.
Adidas, Steve, all day I dream about sex. Those shoes?
I'm sorry, Craig. For me, it's all day I dream about Simpsons.
Oh, sorry. But look, I mean, it's part of our culture now. Just deal with it, Steve.
I will. Okay. Well, on the other side, they find a sprawling golf course. And Ralph points what he described. Easter eggs, golf balls, clown pants, which are golf pants, and baby cars, which are golf carts. As Ralph goes on to hug the leg of his beloved clown/golfer, Bart is surprised to learn that there's a golf course in the middle of Springfield, which you could probably get on Tapped Out. And Nelson wonders just what golf is.
Yeah, I was going to say, was this an addition added to Tapped Out of the golf course? But 2021, I mean, they probably weren't updating that much.
Probably not as frequently, yeah. And this is kind of a one-off, so I'm guessing it probably didn't make it. But if this came out in 2016, it would have.
But it's weird, like, we've seen The Simpsons at a country club and a golf course.
Yeah, think about the Space Coyote episode, Homer wakes up in a golf course.
You know, there's the episode, of course, with Marge's Chanel dress.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, we've seen plenty of golf courses. So it's weird that, like, they've been to a golf course. But maybe this country club's a different country club.
Seems pretty elite.
Yeah. Milhouse is also unfamiliar with golf courses, saying that the only ones he's seen are in commercials for pills that give old people their life back. Nelson is distracted by some duckies, and as he goes to steal their wet bread, the rest of the boys witness Jimbo, looking more dapper than ever in his pressed khakis and blue polo shirt. And Bart wonders if Jimbo has taken to bullying rich guys, but then learns the real reason Jimbo is on the links.
Fine round today, sir. You know, I hope to be a doctor myself. It's always been my dream to work around blood.
Well, maybe this will help with medical school.
Whoa, $20.
What the hell, Jimbo? You just suck up to that guy and he gives you money?
It's not sucking up. Rich guys love hearing how great they are, and they're willing to pay for it. Money pay. Mwah. Look away, pervs.
We'd like jobs, please.
Well, you seem a little young, but I do need the help. I'm out several of my best caddies due to an elaborate virginity-losing wager. Here are your first assignments.
You know, I've never really sucked up to anyone before. Sure, I've lied, scammed, grifted, but this feels different. Special.
Well, I'm a Van Houten. Watch and learn.
It pays. Money pays.
You know, I feel like Jimbo being a caddy seems like his character would be a caddy because we know he's like affluent, like his mom's rich. Like, do we know if the dad's in the picture or is she like a single mom?
I don't remember, but I do know that he comes from money. And so, yeah, it would make sense that he would be in the scene and he would like be among them.
Yeah, let's just say that his family's part of the club that asked the owner of the club, hey, give my son a job this summer.
Right. Yeah. And also, I think like of the bullies, he's like, I always consider him like kind of like Nelson removed, but of the core 3 bullies, I think that he's like kind of plays the leader, but I also feel like he's the least tough.
Well, we know he's the least tough because he breaks under pressure when Mo comes in trying to stab him when, you know, he's making out with Bart's girlfriend.
Exactly. And it's tough to be a father. And so Kearney's good. And Dolph can dance really well. So yeah, Jimbo's the worst bully is what I'm saying.
Right. Kearney is just a little misunderstood, but I think he tries his best. I mean, at least he gives his kid a drawer. I don't even give my kid a drawer.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We need more Dolph backstory, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a untapped gem, Dolph is. Another untapped gem is Dr. Hibbert, who is voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson. And we all know that now that he is. But this is the first episode that made it official with Kevin Michael Richardson replacing Dr. Hibbert. Because at this time, 2021, there was kind of a shift in the cultural zeitgeist about who would voice what characters. Big Mouth, speaking of Jenny Slate, was replaced by Io Dibri in a role on that show. And Harry Shearer was kind of reluctant to give up his role, but eventually, after some pressure from the producers, said, fine, I'll do it, and I'll only voice 14 other characters on the show. Yeah,
it was like, you're still getting paid the same.
Yeah, and like, Hibbert's not like in every episode, but you can still play so many other people. You know, your Skinner, your Burns, you're going to be fine. And your Harry Shearer, for God's sake. Milhouse confidently struts to Monty Burns, affecting an urban accent, saying, dang, looks like I got the handsomest golfer in the whole damn club. Burns just rolls his eyes and walks away, leaving Milhouse to shout, you fine, boy.
I love how even Monty knows this is... Yeah. He's got the dud. Bart, meanwhile, meets up with Kent Brockman. So when the newsman remarks that Bart is new, Bart uses it as an opportunity to compliment his new caddy assignment, telling him that the best way to learn the course is by watching a master carve it up like a turkey on Thanksgiving. So after a moment of consideration, Brockman relieves Bart's bootlicking and he's ready to go play some golf.
4. I don't like golf, by the way. I've tried it. It's not for me. I know, like, we're just getting started, but like, this is a golf-heavy episode.
I was going to ask you if you've done any of the middle-aged dad things. I know you're not a dad, but you know what I mean? Like the middle-aged dad thing, and that's like to start playing golf, start smoking cigars, start sleeping with your secretaries, get a sports car. In Steve's case, his copy of the movie Secretary on VHS.
Oh, yeah. Maggie Gyllenhaal and James Spader? I'll take that. See, what's funny is all those middle-aged guy things I learned in high school, and I got over them. Like, cigars were fun for a minute, but like my issue with cigars is they take too long to smoke, and so you're just stuck with that flavor for too long. And I tried golf in when I was like 17 or maybe even younger. And yeah, just not for me. So maybe a sports car. And I like my wife a lot. So yeah, probably just getting streaming secretary and maybe a Hot Wheels.
I mean, not those things in particular, but like, I know you don't drink anymore, but like beers, like for some reason when you are a dad, you got to drink IPAs.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
And I've started drinking IPAs. And if you're fans of this podcast who listened a long time ago, we used to have a beer corner where we'd review beers just for fun, mostly for ourselves, because the idea was to drink and watch The Simpsons. And we never reviewed IPAs. In fact, I was always like staunch about it. I was just like, no, I'm not going to drink an IPA. I maybe did like one or two. But yeah, now I just drink IPAs.
You're all about the IPAs.
I wear khaki pants, brown shoes, a denim button down. That's my outfit. I got an IPA, Steve. I look like a middle-aged dad.
You fit into the role nicely. I like that.
And, some of my jokes have become a little dad jokey on this podcast, so here we are.
That's the one thing that I have excelled at. I might not be a father, but I do like a dad joke.
But you also start wearing ball caps, and that's a very dad thing. Like, you're wearing, like, literally the dad hat look.
That is true, and I have just started, I just wear T-shirts and sweatshirts, usually plain ones, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, I haven't kind of given up on that, too. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like, look, we love tees. Like, we have our whole Tee Public site, right, with our graphic tees. We loved graphic tees, but I'm at this point, like, I don't think I really want to wear graphic tees anymore.
I really have gotten into pocket tees, like a tee just with a pocket on the left breast. Like, that's all I need.
I never liked those as a kid. I hated those.
I mean, I don't know why I like them more than just a plain t-shirt. I don't put anything in the pocket ever, but it feels classier.
You should just put a pocket square in there, like just like a nice handkerchief with like floral designs.
Ooh, yeah.
Like fold it all nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And then wear a trucker hat.
Ma'am.
Denim cutoffs. But I still wear Converse. But, of course, they got Dr. Scholl's in them. I can't wear normal.
Oh, of course, yeah. You're an adult.
So there's some kid thing I do.
Well, speaking of kids, as Bart, who is a kid, schleps Kent's golf bag, he tells him that he and his friends watch Kent, the straight dope Brockman, every night. Despite Kent's assumption that the youth perceive their news from the internet, Bart says that he and his boys think that broadcast news is swagness, adding that the girls all call Kent a snack. And Bart asks if using the modern parlance is okay, and Ken says that he, as a snack, will allow it.
Was this the modern parlance, or was this like 2018 talk, like snack and swagness? Even before that, maybe?
Yeah, I feel like, he a snack, or swagness. That does feel very like 2017, 2018, I think, yeah.
Like 10 years ago, almost.
Oof. Yeah, it's weird how, like, as we get older, speaking of being dads and in our 40s or whatever, like how things that are old now were too new when they were new.
You're about to do that Grandpa Simpson quote.
I used to be with it, and then they changed what it is. Now it's going to happen to you.
Yeah, I mean, that has happened.
Yeah, like
past 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is Taylor Swift actually considered pop, or is she just adult contemporary now?
I think you might be right. I think that it is for like people in their 30s and 40s now, because she's in her 30s and 40s now. So
I know. I've been listening to the new Lady Gaga album, Mayhem,
mm-hmm.
Out in stores now. No, we're not sponsored, but I'm just thinking like this album, like it swags and it's snack. It's dope, Steve.
It sure is the bee's knees.
But she's like adult contemporary because she's like 38, which is like our age, because we're close to that. It's like, it's for us old monsters. It's not little monsters anymore. It's geriatric monsters. So on the green, Kent opens up to Bart, sharing his complicated relationship with meteorologist Stacy, saying that she is a wonderful person who is great at her job, but notes that he has been avoiding her calls for the past 3 months. Bart expresses that Kent has already made up his mind, but hasn't admitted it yet. So he is so kind.
While Kent accepts Bart's sucking up with ease, Burns is growing frustrated with Milhouse, who shouts, "You demand!" just as Monty was about to put the ball into the hole. Burns calls him an imbecile, while Kent offers his straight dope, telling Bart that thanks to him, he had a delightful round of golf.
Now see, I like it when Milhouse says slang from like 20 years prior.
It fits, yeah. It makes sense that he would do that.
I still love that. Again, it's an episode we can't watch, but when Milhouse comes in, what episode is it? He just goes, the "what's up?" like the
"what's up?" Yeah.
And the animation of that with his tongue. What episode was that? I feel like it was, did Bart have a girlfriend or?
We can talk about it because it's Bart Wants What It Wants, the 11th episode of the 13th season, with Bart befriending Rainier Wolfcastle's daughter, Greta. In fact, I think we probably did review this.
We did, yeah. According to our library of Simpsons Congress.
But to be fair, that was episode 14, and we're on episode 320, so that was 306 episodes ago, which is 306 weeks ago, which is several years.
So we probably did comment how funny that scene was, or the was up. And that's season 14, so like early 2000s. Yeah, it was definitely outdated.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Steven.
Happy to do it.
Bart thinks to himself, wondering if he's kissed enough butt, and only money will tell. And it does, as Kent pulls out his wad of cash and hands Bart a crisp $20 bill. He assumes that all money was the same, but finds that the best currency is peeled off of a wad. Bart looks around to see various caddies getting green from the wads of rich golfers as Wu-Tang's Cream, which is an acronym CREAM, plays. Steve, what do you think that stands for?
Could Roy Ellison actually meet?
I think it's for Craig remembers everyone's arm masturbating.
That's very nice of you, Craig.
And it makes sense for Cream, right? You know, do you have another one, or are we good with this bit?
We're probably good. It's cash rolls everything around me.
Okay, Bart joins in on the potential for wealth, and the camera follows as a golfer stuffing his wad into his back pocket and walking away, shaking his little butt in his tight little golf pants.
Oh yeah, all the wad talk. Like, I know it's a joke, but it's a little weird.
Yeah, but when I think of wad, I think of like spit wad.
Mm-hmm. Wad of gum.
Wad of cream.
I've had a wad of cream. That's why my tummy hurts.
You know, like if you go to a restaurant, if you want like a side of like ranch dressing or ketchup,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like in a small cup. I wanted to have a restaurant where it's like, it says, do you want a wad of sour cream or a wad of ranch or a wad of ketchup?
It's gross.
Try our moist wads.
Ugh. Speaking of like 40-year-old guy things, I feel like it's not something that I do, but like having that wad of cash in your pocket is definitely an older guy thing.
Yeah.
Like, the only time I ever have cash on me now is if I'm going to the drugstore to buy drugs. That's not subtle at all, because they don't take debit cards. But other than that, like, I don't ever have cash on me. And so, like, I've seen, like, older men have, like, huge wads of cash. And it's weird because you know if they're ballers if they have, like, ones on the outside because they're not trying to show off. But if they have, like, 20s or 50s on the outside of the wad, they're insecure.
I, too, don't really carry cash, but I have, like, my cell phone is my wallet. But there's, like, a little slot for, like, cash. It's rolled up, and I had, like, a bunch of ones and, like, a $20 bill. And so I put the 20 on the inside and the ones on the outside because I don't want people to know I have a $20 bill.
It makes sense.
So if I had the 20 on the outside, it means I'm a baller.
A shot caller. You've got 20-inch blades on your Impala. But speaking of insecure with their wads, back in the kitchen of 742 Evergreen Terrace, Homer welcomes his number one son, inviting Bart to sit next to his proud father. And Marge is also proud, but Lisa is skeptical, sarcastically saying that Bart will learn plenty from carrying a bag of sticks from one place to another. Bart corrects his sister, telling her that those sticks are called golf bats.
All right, do you want to just be a caddy just so you can tell the golfer, like, do you need a golf bat?
I do.
Okay. Bart pulls out the cash he's collected thus far, and Homer compliments him, saying that it is a nice starter wad. And Homer then pulls out what he's rolling with, and Bart likes what he sees, saying that Homer's rubber band is straining to hold all the cash within. Bart goes to hold it, and the band breaks, revealing that Homer padded his wad with non-static dryer sheets. The family gasps, and Homer tearfully admits that he's not the father they thought they married. He runs out of the kitchen crying with a sock stuck to his shirt due to the static cleaning, which is a nice little callback to the dryer sheets.
I like that touch, yeah. And I also like him saying he's not the father they thought they married. It's really funny.
Now, instead of cash, Steve, read this paragraph that you wrote with penis.
Okay. Bart pulls out the penis he's collected thus far, and Homer compliments him, saying that's a nice starter penis. Homer then pulls out what he's rolling with, and Bart likes what he sees, saying that Homer's rubber band is straining to hold all that penis within. Bart goes to hold it, and the band breaks, revealing that Homer pads his penis with no steak dryer sheets. The family gasps, and Homer tearfully admits that he's not the father they thought they're married. So yeah, that works.
All right.
Although the stock is not stuck to him because of the dryer sheet now.
It's because of a wad. That's the first time we've ever done a penis joke on this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like, there was a joke that we could have done last week. Oh, there was a running gag about, it was about restraining orders, and we didn't make a single pedophile school joke, and I was so proud of us, so I think we've earned this penis joke.
All right. So on the golf course, Marge proudly points out Bart's penis and his new job to Maggie. She carries Maggie behind a nearby tree for a closer look. But when she hears just how Bart acts, Marge is fucking pissed off.
And in the end, everyone lost money but me.
Wow, I've learned so much today about golf, life, and oil leases. I wish I had tribal land for you to build a pipeline on. I'd be honored if you'd frack under my house someday, sir.
I've never seen my son suck up before.
Easy money.
You don't kiss all the golfers' butts like that, do you?
Oh, Mom, these rich guys expect a little in exchange for some... it's no big deal.
On one hand, I'm glad you're being polite. On the other hand...
Wow, I never thought of it that way, Mom. No one looks out for me the way you do. You are the shining star that guides this family through the darkness.
Oh, aren't you sweet? Why don't we stop by the skateboard store on the way home and I'll buy you... Suck up.
It is a good job for a young boy to have, to be a caddy, I guess. But it is kind of gross to be, like, so subservient and, like, sucky to, the rich and wealthy assholes of the world.
Yeah, that's one thing. I don't think Elon Musk is a golfer, so that's good.
Yeah, that's true.
Although, no, maybe he should just take up golfing and only do that.
If it would get him away from the rest of the world, that might not be a bad idea.
I know you don't love the man, but Bill Burr said it perfectly. It's like, this guy's a billionaire. What does he care about anything?
Actually, not a bad point. Huh.
Yeah. I mean, that's not verbatim. You said it funnier probably, but yeah. Like, you're a billionaire. Just go away.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be this evil supervillain that he is.
Look, there was an episode of Wonder Years where Kevin Arnold becomes a caddy, and he's got to suck up to Kevin's dad's boss, because Kevin's dad's boss is playing golf, and Kevin's dad's playing golf that day, but Kevin, of course, is the caddy for the boss. So he has to decide, is he going to be a suck up to get the money, or is he going to be nice to his dad? The spoilers, his dad dies 2 years after the episode aired.
Man, that's sad.
Spoilers for people who haven't finished Wonder Years from 30 years ago.
We wonder you not more. He didn't. The Simpsons pay a visit to ice cream parlor PQB's, formerly Phineas Q Butterfats, which offers the same great flavors with an all-new look. Inside, as Otto and Julio sit at a table together enjoying a bowl and a cone respectively, Bart shares a tale of the 18th hole where he instructs Judge Snyder to live in the moment and not think about the rough course he's experienced throughout the day. And it's interesting to see Otto and Julio hanging out together. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but I think it's cool.
I could imagine Julio gets his weed from Otto, and
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, just likes to vibe with Otto. Like, Otto's probably a good listener. He just sits there as like stoned, and you could tell Otto all of your problems, and he's like, "Oh man, like I agree with you. Oh yeah, you should do that. All right, like that's all he's gonna respond to, just like positive feedback. But it's not really actual feedback. It's just positive reassurance.
Sure, and weed, so it's kind of a win-win. Yeah.
Homer eagerly listens as Bart tells Judge Snyder, nodding, planting his feet, and in one smooth motion tips Bart $50. Homer is amazed and wonders why he has the sudden urge to bring Bart's car around. Bart hands cones out to his family and then tips squeaky-voiced teen $5, telling him to buy a bigger tip jar. The parlor employee rings a bell, which causes his fellow workers to break out in song. And meanwhile, in this clip, Marge shares her concerns about Bart's new gig to Homer.
Tips in the jar, grateful we are, praise be your name, you've raised the game. Some give a sip, it's such a rip, game that with song they're in the wrong.
Doesn't it bother you that Bart made that money sucking up to those golfers?
Marge, sucking up is the American way. In this country, everybody got together and decided that all the money should belong to a few dozen families and their favorite suck-ups. Don't you remember when we all decided that?
Ugh.
And of all the things that Bart might do for money, this is by far the most legal. Other people are paying our son, and in cash. It's both above board and under the table. That's the dream.
Homie, I know it's not logical, but when I saw Bart at that golf course, my mothering spirit just wanted to hurl.
Homer is right. Like, I think I'm on Homer's side of this, but it's because of that line of like, we all decided that we just have like the richest families control this country. Here we are, not a political podcast, but and like Homer's like, we all decided this, a few years ago. That's kind of like what we did, like after World War II. It's kind of really where the country went. I mean, again, not a political podcast.
But yeah, you're right. It does go back to World War II, but yeah, like throughout the 80s into the 90s, like this idea of like wealth being so great, greed is good, and all that. Yeah, we all just collectively decided that the rich guys are the better guys. And look where we are now. It worked out real well. Again, not a political podcast.
I would have no problem if my son was a caddy and sucked up for tips. If they're going to give you money for being a suck up, sure, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But Marge makes a good point too. Like, there's no it is kind of gross.
It's tax-free cash,
It's conflicting. I do like the touch of like when Homer's making his point, he keeps on jabbing his shirt with the ice cream cone and there's a pink stain on the shirt.
Yeah, good animation.
Also, Craig really enjoys Asian miners. That's from before.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they do a good job of mining ore, so.
Exactly.
But, back to the sucking up, Steve. I understand your point of view, and I hope you understand mine. But also, I just want to say, you have never looked more handsome than you do right now.
Well, thank you, Craig.
You made a coffee, and it's like the best coffee I've ever had. Like, I don't know why you don't own your own coffee shop.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you're right. Maybe Homer's onto something. Bart's got a pretty good job, and I don't know what it's talking about. Yeah, you're right. I am pretty great. Yeah, you know what you're talking about, Craig. You're smart. You're the best podcaster I do a podcast with.
No, I would say you're the best podcaster. Like, you blow Joe Rogan out of the water when it comes to podcasting. Here's my hand out, palm side up, and
Oh, yes. Here you go.
Oh, thanks. Since you don't have cash, you just gave me a Jersey Mike's gift card. All right, I'll take it.
Enjoy it Mike's way. Speaking of doing things the vendor's way, some flavors offered by PQBs include
fudge sherbet,
salted cotton candy,
cookies and nothing,
Shallot's Jubilee,
cookies and something,
and Vindicator's Crunch.
All right, which one you getting?
Ooh, certainly not salted cotton candy. I hate cotton candy. I do like salt. Fudge sherbet sounds weird and watery, so I think I'm going to go with cookies and something. How about you?
Like, is cookies and nothing literally just a bucket of cookies?
That doesn't sound bad, honestly.
I might take the cookies and nothing then.
Yeah. I feel like Vindicator's Crunch, is a tie-in to... Because I think Vindicators in the Simpsons world is their version of the Avengers. So it's like a movie tie-in. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Do you like those? I'll just blast them on live podcasting. Like Ben and Jerry has they'll do new flavors like the Jimmy Fallon one or Stephen, like it's always like the late night show hosts for some reason have ice creams. But I gotta say, I don't know, Ben and Jerry's just doesn't hit like it used to. Is that weird, or am I just getting older?
I don't think you're entirely wrong. I think I do love me some Ben and Jerry's. And again, politics aside, because a lot of stuff on TikTok about Ben and Jerry's being good or bad. I don't know. I think that they're a little uninspired lately. I think there are other premium ice cream brands that are doing it better. Ben and Jerry's still has some good stuff, but they're not the best.
What's the popular one? I don't think I've had them yet, but because they're kind of pricey for a pint, usually about $9. It's like Jenny's. Is it Jenny's?
Yes, Jenny's is also that is a premium, very expensive ice cream.
Look, I'm kind of basic, and I know this might be a bias because of our location, and I think they sell them throughout the country, but like Tillamook Tillamook ice cream is probably one of my favorite companies that does ice cream. Like store-bought.
Yeah, Tillamook makes a peanut butter ice cream, not a peanut butter chocolate chip, not a peanut butter cookie dough, just a straight up peanut butter ice cream that is phenomenal. One of my favorite ice creams of all time.
And one of my favorite vanilla ice creams, homemade vanilla from Brown Bunny. No, Blue Bunny, not Brown Bunny.
I don't want that vanilla.
Brown Bunny is a movie with Chloe Sevigny.
Yeah, and there is like some ice cream in there, but
she does suck from a cone. But yeah, Blue Bunny. Blue Bunny's like homemade vanilla. Like that's like my favorite vanilla. Anyways,
it's a good vanilla. Yeah,
we should really start an ice cream podcast, Steve. The Annoyed Lick Boys.
I would go with Coneheads, but okay.
All right, Marge asks for Homer's support in telling Bart to quit being a caddy. When Homer tries to confront Bart about leaving the caddy game, Bart asks how much Marge paid him to ask. And Homer replies that Marge offered nothing, leaving Bart to say that he could do better than that, offering his dad $20. So Homer accepts, ready to tell Marge that he's tried his best. And then Bart stuffs another 20 into his shirt pocket, instructing him to say that he did his very best.
Meanwhile, in the backyard, Nelson uses a garden hose to fill up Bart's brand new above-ground pool, while Milhouse asks Bart what his next extravagant purchase will be. And using the best kid logic, Bart replies that he's considering getting one of those booths that pull money around, figuring that, it pays for itself after the first use, which I love.
Makes sense to me. On the other side of the pool, Martin objects, saying that Bart's wad, which Bart is keeping dry in a Ziploc bag, is his future, and he needs a good investment vehicle. And Bart gives that some thought when the boys check out the Coyote Trail Flipper ATV. It's a good investment vehicle, Steve. Milhouse checks out the specs, noting that the patented Ultra Freedom Badass technology stops the engine should the driver put on a helmet.
So after the boys high-five at the lack of safety features, Nelson wonders if he and his friends could have a ride on the off-road vehicle. But Bart argues that if he shared the Deathmobile, the rest of the guys would lack the motivation to earn their own wad. Bart assures his friends that he's doing it for them, but Nelson feels that he's acting like a buttwad. Bart responds that saying what you think will really get you nowhere, causing the boys to walk away grumbling and calling Bart a lousy rich kid.
So later, Marge does some grumbling of her own, pacing back and forth past Lisa's bedroom, trying to get her daughter's attention. Lisa is in fact distracted, offering Marge an audience to express her complaints about Bart's new job. And Lisa provides more reasons to be upset thanks to a quick check from the Wokesters Encyclopedia of Outrages.
Okay, I'll tell you what's bothering me. It's Bart's county job. It's gross, right? You can tell me it's gross. Do you think it's gross?
Well, private golf clubs are pretty evil.
Right, they are. How so?
Wow, look at all these. Waste of water resources, pesticide use, history of sexism and racism.
And Bart's a suck-up.
Not to mention that private clubs get huge breaks on their property taxes, which is completely unfair. Why shouldn't rich people pay their share?
Lisa, we've got to shut down that club. We're going to City Hall.
Why shouldn't rich people pay their share?
They don't need to pay taxes. They're rich.
Okay, you make a good point, and maybe if we listen to them, we'll become rich too, because why wouldn't they want to share it?
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's sound reasoning.
Didn't we... Oh, I don't know if this is... I read somewhere, I'm assuming it's probably in the Portland metro area, but that there was a golf course that was shut down. They're actually, making it like a park, but, making, revitalizing it as a park and not a place for people to play golf. But, it's a good step forward to, golf courses take up so much energy to maintain.
I do remember hearing about that in our area, and because there are a lot of golf courses around the Portland metro area, and it's kind of surprising because I don't feel like Portland is a big golf town, but maybe it is.
It's always kind of assigned to rich people too, or well off. But I think golf's going to make a huge comeback soon because I don't know if you saw the trailer that just dropped for Happy Gilmore 2. This time, he's happier.
Oh, yes. Just what we need.
I saw the trailer and I just felt like Adam Sandler looks just tired. He's just too tired to be in this movie.
Not related to that at all, I watched Happy Gilmore, the original, last night, just because we were doing something around the house and we just wanted something dumb to put on. And I hadn't seen it in a long time, and it's fine. It's a good movie. It's Happy Gilmore, but And this is probably obvious, but it is the exact same plot structure as Billy Madison. They just changed nouns. Like, I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, of course it is.
Yeah.
But I think you're in the same camp of like, we like Billy Madison over Happy Gilmore.
Yes, I think I agree. Yeah.
It's because one had Norm Macdonald, right? I don't think Norm Macdonald's in.
No, he's not.
Plus, Billy Madison has Chris Farley.
That's also true.
Yeah.
And a penguin.
But Happy Gilmore does have Julie Bones' hairstyle.
And Bob Barker.
I saw like Julie Bowen in like 1 second of the trailer. I'm like, I wish she still had that same hair. I don't know why they didn't keep it. She just has like normal hair.
Yeah, she doesn't look like a newscaster from 1986.
Yeah. I hope they have a scene where he's golfing with Adam Sandler's golfing with Drew Carey.
Oh, that'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Go back to Cleveland, bitch. So, Marge and Lisa burst into Mayor Quimby's office, only to find Diamond Joe sporting a Springfield Junipers hat and working on his close-up game with a putting green in his office. Marge and Lisa then storm across the hall into the chairman of the other party, where the politician is cracking his drive, which she's also doing in his office, not safe, which shoots right through Marge's hair.
Marge's hair gets so many holes in it.
It's true. Poor Marge.
So back on the course, Bart sees golf club president Bill Dorff, who plays daily and never tips less than $100. Next to Bart is Principal Skinner, who sees his own summer job as a great opportunity, and Bart vows that Bill Dorff's golf bag will be on his shoulder before the father-son bingo bango bongo best ball scramble. Since it's outside of the official school season, Seymour sees it as a chance to tell Bart something he's felt for a long time. He thinks Bart is awesome.
Oh, that's sweet. Like, there might be rivals, but Skinner, an adult man, actually envies the 10-year-old boy.
We all knew that. And that episode where like where Skinner isn't the principal anymore and they hang out, that's like the sweetest like moments, like in Simpsons, like with Bart and Seymour.
It's really nice.
I always like that.
Superintendent Chalmers walks up to the caddy shack, causing Seymour to eagerly stand in the hopes of being his caddy. But Gary chooses Bart instead, so Skinner sits back down, dejected. Then, his mother, Agnes Lamb of God, Skinner, walks up, but seeing that her son is the only caddy available, decides not to play at all.
Oh, that's sad.
It is.
You know, it's funny. I was watching Saved by the Bell, the new class. It was on like one of those like free live Roku channel Pluto's, one of those, streamers. And like when the new class started, they went from like doing episodes in the school, but then all of a sudden, like the fourth episode's like they're all working at a country club. So they must have like aired them out of order. But the point I'm trying to get as like when Bart or Skinner is a golf caddy, reminded much of like Mr. Belding like worked at a golf course or a country club in the summer. And
yeah.
It was along with Screech and then the kids, all the kids from the school worked there. Much how the Malibu Sands from the original series. But was Belding part of the Malibu Sands storyline?
No, I don't think he was because there was another guy. I don't remember.
Ernie,
the
guy who played Timon.
Precisely, yeah.
Yeah, Ernie Sabella, I think that's his name.
Not Nathan Lane is what I called him.
Yeah, not Nathan Lane. And then, of course, Jennifer Lopez's best friend, Leah Remini. She's in those episodes.
That's true, yeah. Not a Scientologist.
Podcast.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Anyway, so the whole point I was trying to say is like, Mr. Belding didn't even make enough money as an educator. He had to get a summer job.
It's true. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. And I imagine, because like Bayside, I assume that was probably a higher paying job. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
you have one student who knows how to stop time and one student like created a whole robot. I feel like if you're a principal of that school, you're doing something right.
Yeah, you're a pretty good, and like you got a star quarterback, a fashion designer, an activist who will eventually be a stripper.
Wait a minute, Steve. I just figured something out. Bayside is actually the West Coast version of like Xavier School for the Gifted students. They're all mutants at Bayside.
So Belding is Professor X?
Yeah, sadly.
And Tori is Jubal He?
Yeah. They all like are the stars of everything. They have a band.
It's true.
I mean, didn't Wolverine and Kitty Pryde start a band?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, that was an issue.
Sure, I think Weezer sang about it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to have to rewatch Saved by the Bell and start writing down their mutant powers. And then I'll write my thesis to some dumb college and I'll get a doctorate.
I love it.
All right. So in the kitchen, Lisa is encouraging Marge to get her voice to the people using an online petition. Lisa then turns her laptop to show her entries into petition website, pester.org. It's not a real website, however, though pester.com leads to the Pester Pack automation company, which offers vial storage solutions for all your research and pharmaceutical needs. So are you saying, Steve, that maybe Pester Pack could store a vial of my wad?
That is true, yes, and it would be safe and secure, thanks to the good folks at Pester.
Lisa has already offered support to numerous online petitions, such as Let 8-Year-Olds Join the Peace Corps and Cast Millie Bobby Brown in Everything.
And if you look at that new piece of crap Netflix movie, that one worked.
I think the only movie I would cast her in is the Bobby Brown story, and she could play Bobby Brown.
It's her prerogative. Marge types in her passionate petition about how private golf clubs avoid paying equitable property taxes, citing Ralph's imaginary bear drum major, Mr. Rum-Tatum, as a source. All that's left is an eye-catching title to the petition, and Marge quickly comes up with "Stop Coddling the Springfield Junipers Wealthy." But when that proves to be too long, she edited it to read "Stop Coddling the SJWs." She publishes the post wondering if it will garner any attention, and then receives her answer from Channel 6's own Kent Brockman.
An online petition attacking our local private golf club has garnered over 1 million signatures.
1 million? Mom, you used the term SJW.
Yes, I know. The Springfield Junipers Wealthy.
No, SJW stands for Social Justice Warriors. That's what right-wing trolls call anyone who cares about positive social change. Look at the other online petitions your supporters have backed.
Oh, boy. A signature's a signature?
Thanks to the cranky clicks collected by local complainer Marge Simpson, Springfield's golf club will have to pay a huge property tax increase, threatening the club's very existence. In one reporter's unbiased opinion, closing this Par 72 landmark would be a travesty. One and all would mourn the loss of this exclusive private green space and Ramon's famous Bloody Marys. He uses a golf tee as an olive skewer.
I'm fine with the taxes for the golf game, or for the golf course.
Yeah, they should pay taxes.
Do you like a golf tee, Olive, Steve?
It's pretty classy.
Other petitions that Marge's supporters have backed included
build a wall on the U.S. Taliban border,
a national day without seatbelts,
and upgrade the Second Amendment to first. What I hate and love about these is that if I read in the newspaper that any of those were proposed today, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
I feel like these are all actually probably on the docket, as they would say.
Right. Just right behind changing Washington, D.C. to Washington, D.A.
I don't understand the joke there, Steve.
Oh, because that's not a joke. Because Columbia, the country, has nothing to do with America, so why should Washington, D.C. be called the District of Columbia?
So he wants to call it District of America?
Yes.
I thought he was going to Washington, D.T. for Washington Donald Trump.
Don't give him that idea, because he absolutely will.
District of America. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, Bart runs into the living room, complaining that he finally found something that he's good at, and Marge wants to ruin it. He pulls out his wad and caresses it lovingly. He pulls out his penis and caresses it lovingly, telling his mother that she doesn't know what it's like to bring something into this world, watch it grow, and worry about it night and day. I'm laughing. It's a funny joke, but I'm also laughing because he's talking about his penis. Watch it grow and worry about it.
That's all I do every day.
He then expresses his love to his wad, offering to take it on a much-deserved rubber band shopping spree.
The next day on the course, Bart is instructed to report to the first tee, where he'll be caddy for club president Bill Dorff. Bart's excited to make it to the big show. On the first hole, Bill Dorff uses a pair of tweezers to pull a single weed from the grass, noting that it is a Digitaria sanguinalis variety. Bill Dorff tells an employee to fire gardener Tetso, and then thinks to himself, I think it's Tetso, much like Kim Brockman said, I think it's Ramon. Good callback. And Bart brings his strongest suck-up game to the president, but Bill Dorff has been through the course a time or two.
I'm sorry. For a second there, I mistook you for a young Pierce Brosnan. Very young.
Spare me, kid. I've heard it all. Simpson, your mother's campaign is going to bankrupt this club. I need you to convince her to call it off.
Oh, I am trying. My mom never backs down, no matter how wrong she is. That's why she's still married to my dad.
Why are charities and churches the only ones that don't have to pay taxes? It's preposterous.
Yeah, man, this place is better than any church. Everyone wants to come here on Sunday. People are always shouting out the Lord's name, and instead of wafers and wine, you get club sandwiches and scotch in a plastic cup.
Bart Simpson, you've just given me the greatest idea since little whales embroidered on khakis.
Bildorf. That voice sounds familiar, Steve.
Why, of course, that's King of the Hill alum, Bill Daughtry, Milton from Office Space, Co-star of Derry, and News Radio's own Jimmy James, Stephen Root, one of the greatest character actors, playing Club President Bildorf. I don't know, I just always love it. It's always a delight whenever I see Stephen Root in anything.
Yeah, I think if I had to make a Mount Rushmore of character actors, now it's going to sound very white. I mean, our actual Mount Rushmore is very white, but so far 3 of them would be Stephen Root, Kurt Fuller, and Richard Kind.
Ooh, yeah.
But all kind of like very similar, like white guy. Like, I don't know. They could play a friend or they could be an asshole. Maybe I'll just do like a TV show or movie with them, just called It's Those Guys.
Hey, it's those guys. I'd watch that. It'd be on like TV Land if TV Land's still a thing.
Yeah.
Right after Hot in Cleveland or other shows.
Cougarton.
Yes, Cougarton.
Cougarton.
Outside of the Springfield Junipers clubhouse, Mayor Quimby declares golf to officially be a religion, meaning the golf club is now a house of worship. This means that, like all other religions, golf is tax exempt. And like any other religion, golf can ticket in and pay nothing. Bildorf is pleased to bring Bart a $100 bill, but Marge fumes at the sight of all this, ripping her necklace. One of those red pearls rolls into a golf hole, causing the crowd to cheer, but Marge just rolls her eyes.
I thought the scene was kind of weird. Like, does she ever rip her pearls off like that, ever?
I've never seen it, like, out of anger. It's a weird thing to do.
I think it's just because someone in the writers' room just pitched the idea as like, oh, and at one point, can, like, Marge's pearls, like, go into a golf hole and the crowd cheers?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, okay, we'll figure it out there.
Okay, Selman. Yeah, you can do it. All right. Bye.
Yeah. Obviously, it's for that joke, but yeah, just weird. So at the golf course, now renamed the First Church of the Blessed Mulligan, all are welcome, provided they pay, of course, the $25,000 initiation fee. Marge invites Reverend Lovejoy, Rabbi Rudenstein, a priest, and a llama to see how the golf course is cheapening the concept of religion, hoping to end the sham. Lovejoy coyly accepts the task of passing judgment on a faith other than his own. So the Reverend, the priest, and Rabbi and the llama walk in, only to find a choir singing the Kenny Loggins song, I'm All Right, made, of course, by the famous Caddyshack movie. Steve, did you just try to do in the script here, a priest and a rabbi type of joke, walk into a bar?
Exactly, yeah. And I think my favorite version of that is like a priest, a rabbit, and a minister walk into a bar, and the bartender goes, I think there's a typo.
It's pretty good, because it should be priests, plural, right?
Exactly.
So banner saying from the ceiling that reads, he washes away your shanks. It's in the hole, and golf is good. We then see the 10 commandments of golf. Number 1.
I am the Lord, thy golf.
Number 2.
Remember Master's Sunday, and keep it sacred.
Number 3.
Honor thy wife, sure, but keep her away from the club.
Number 4.
Share often the story of thine almost hole-in-one.
Number 5.
Thy preferred hat shall be a visor, for some reason.
Number 6.
Thou shalt convey thy neighbor's new putter.
Number 7.
Try out the new Clubhouse BLT. It's out of this world.
Number 8.
Thou shalt not improve thy lie, if anyone's looking.
Number 9.
A bad day on the links beats a good day at work, buddy.
And number 10.
Thou shalt not act too comfortable in the steam room.
So Marge is skeptical of all these tenets, but the men of faith feel that golf really puts the hole in the Holy Spirits.
These aren't commandments. They're jokes I don't get.
Well, there's plenty of saints.
Blessed the shark. Deliver my son's golf ball safely onto the green of Pebble Beach's notorious and the evil 17th hole.
Look at this! It's like the high holidays every day. I should be so lucky.
Marge, I'm sorry, but I think this religion checks all the boxes.
We're calling it It's a Faith.
I just can't take seeing him like this.
Honey, over the years I've learned that you just want me to listen to your problems and not always try to solve them. So, good luck.
Homer's got a lot of realizations in this episode.
He does, and actually Bart had a really good one about how Marge is resilient about standing up to what she believes in and why she's still with Homer. So it's fun. Also, in that clip, we heard the rabbi, and according to Matt Selman, the staff actually wanted to get Larry David, of course, of Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm fame, and a golfer himself, to play the role of the rabbi, but this was taped during the COVID-19 pandemic, and so they didn't want to bother him, which is interesting.
It is, like, I think people are, like, turned off by Larry because they think he's actually that character on TV.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's going to be a weird about it.
Yeah, like, interactions, like, they know it's going to be weird and awkward, but I think he also makes it weird and awkward. You know that whole, like, don't meet your heroes? I don't feel like I would ever want to meet Larry David.
No, any vision I have of him would only be ruined by that, yeah.
But that would have been funny. I mean, I could see him eventually do a voice. Has he done a voice? I feel like he has now.
I don't think he has.
Stranger things have happened, Steve.
Of course, it was on Netflix for several years.
Yeah, and they cast Millie Bobby Brown like they should have.
Exactly. So Marge walks up to Bart as he's playing with his wad. Again, Marge walks up to Bart as he's playing with his penis. He wonders why his mother isn't at her own church, and Marge lays it out on the line. She says a lot about Bart's new job, but she hasn't shared what's deepest in her heart. She always loved how Bart never needs approval from anybody else, and Marge is worried that caddying will cause him to lose that. But Bart swears that he won't suck up forever, only until he's rich enough and he can have other people suck up to him.
Marge asks Bart to promise her that the golfers won't take her special little guy since they seem to get everything else they want. Bart runs up to Bildorf, ready to caddy and suck up, complimenting his new diamond earring, added that it is very age-appropriate.
Bildorf tells Bart that since his mother is no longer a threat, he'll no longer need Bart to caddy for him. Bildorf wants to go back to his old caddy, Chatlington, but Bart thinks that it's unfair since his religion ideas save the club. He feels that he's earned the caddy job, and Bildorf scoffs at that.
Earned? Earning things is so. Tennis, golf is about privilege.
Fine, but someday I'm going to be a member here, and I'm going to be cool to the caddies.
Oh, you a member? Oh, look, you made Chadlington laugh. Look, there's no path from where you are to where I am. Once a suck-up, always a suck-up.
I also like Chadlington.
His laugh is fun.
He looks like what a teenage Conan O'Brien probably looked like.
Probably sounds like him too, yeah.
Yeah. But hey, Bart throws his Springfield Junipers hat to the ground and runs out of the club and through the city streets. He sees Coyote Trail Flipper ATV and knows his worth, saying goodbye to his beloved Wad.
Oh. Over in the parking lot of the golf course, a wild ball smashes through the Simpsons windshield, and Marge looks to see the culprit, only to find the men of faith, who are now members of the club. The rabbi tells her that they got a group deal, and the club lifted their problematic restrictions. What's not to like? Marge replies that there's everything not to like, saying that the people there are horrible with their stupid clacking shoes, their microwave buffalo wings, and the snack shop, and as she goes on to continue her rant, Marge is interrupted by the sound of a revving engine.
And Bart flies through the green hedge on the four-wheeler, tearing up the grass and scaring the geese. He tells Bildorf that he forgot about the Wad, adding that he can buy a pretty nice ATV or rent a whole bunch of them. And then Martin, Nelson, Milhouse, and the rest of the boys also merge on ATVs shouting, "Kid Power!" and ripping up the green. Lewis Clark drives over a ball about to be putted in, and Nelson revs in the sand trap saying he's playing golf. And Ralph rides as Mr. Rum-Ta-Tum covers his eyes.
So with the golf course in ruins, Marge goes to scold her son, but finds it to be difficult. But Bildorf, he's confident that they'll rebuild until the law gets involved.
Bart Simpson, the next time you want to make a point, I would prefer you use your words.
Did you honestly think a little vandalism would shut us down? Greens can be reseeded, traps resanded, roughs unsmoothed. The club will go on. And here are the police to take you to jail.
This is a raid. We're closing the club down. Bildorf, you're under arrest.
Me? But they are the ne'er-do-wells. I am the head of a legitimate religion.
Yeah, you sure are. And like every new religion, sooner or later, it turns into a sex cult. In your case, it was really sooner.
I enjoyed Marge being like, you shouldn't do this, but she couldn't hold up her joy at Bart's shenanigans. She liked that her special little guy was, in fact, a special little guy.
Yeah, and I like how Bart, like, you assume he was just going to buy that ATV for himself, and then when he comes to destroy it, like, I was fine with that, but the fact that I love that twist of, like, he rented them and got his friends involved, that seems selfless of Bart. Like, he's still doing, destroying the land, which is good, but, like, him, just renting these and then having all his friends have fun with the destruction. It's very thoughtful.
It is. It's very nice.
Good job, Bart. Give him a gold star. Now!
Here you go, Bart.
So the police haul away the golfers in various bondage gear, one with Payne Stewart branded on his chest, another in a leather vest and golf chaps, a man in a vicar's hat next to a guy in a gimp mask, and a ball-gagged golfer in a golf bag. So the credits begin to roll, and we see Ralph dancing like the gopher from Caddyshack. So the whole course explodes behind him, and that is the episode. All right, Steve. I need to go take a golf. I got my ball on the 18th hole, and I need to drive it in.
Well, I need to go reband my wad, so...
All right. We're going to take a little break, come back, and wrap up the episode. So we'll be right back. All right, Steve, we're back. Let's finish up this week's episode, Wad Goals. We'll talk about our favorite jokes and scenes. Maybe there was a certain character that was our favorite, given the MVJ. We'll give it a review, find out what we're watching next week. But before all that, we still do the gifts. That's right. We find something, an image or whatnot from this episode that's like, hey, you could package that, make some money off of it, because capitalism is what this country is founded on.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, Steve, of course, like I could say, oh, here's some golf clubs or golf bats, I mean. But no, you're not a golfer. But there are some things that golf courses have that I think you would like. For instance, when we see Jimbo giving Dr. Hibbert his golf bat, he's cleaning his shoes with like those shoe cleaners.
Oh, yeah.
That are on the ground with like the bristles. And I thought you deserve one of those so you can clean your shoes.
Very nice.
I also feel like your balls can be dirty, so you need a ball washer. It's just in your backyard, and you put your balls in there, and it washes your balls.
I do need that. My balls are filthy.
Even though you're not a golfer, I think you appreciate the golfing wardrobe. So I got you some like fun little pants you could wear, like golf pants that are all like checkered or, just fun patterns. And here's some rubbers.
Oh, thank you.
Rubber bands for your wad. And finally, a Bloody Mary from Ramon, I think, made it. I don't know. There you go.
Oh, that's very nice of you, Craig. And I also got some gifts for you. I got you a fleet of Coyote Trail Flipper ATVs, so you can ruin any golf course that you want, or just have some fun on the weekend. Sometimes your wad is a little lacking, so I got you some dryer sheets. Pad your wad. And hey, I might not drink, but I don't want you to not enjoy that anymore. So I got you a fancy scotch in a plastic cup.
Ah, yes. Hard alcohol from a really flimsy plastic cup that just goes in some landfill and eventually to the ocean, right?
And there's always too much or not enough ice.
It melts instantaneously, right? Great gifts from you, Steve. The ATVs, a little pricey, but I'll use them with good fun.
Or you just pay with the wad and walk out of the store. Before you know it, they won't notice that it's padded.
Steve, what made you laugh in this episode?
I enjoyed Lisa being frustrated with Marge as she's pacing across the bedroom. The fact that Marge used the term SJWs. But really, I think Homer is my MVJ for this episode. Even though he didn't have a ton to do, he was in there with some fun jokes. I liked him saying that sometimes you just want to share your problems and don't want me to solve them, so I'm just going to walk away. And then him saying that the rich people are going to do everything, and we all agreed on it. Right, Marge? I think Homer is my MVJ. How about you?
I'm going to go with Nelson as my MVJ. I like how he says, what the crotch are they, supposed to do, getting through the hedge. Him golfing, just driving in the sand pit's a lot of fun. Also him, be distracted by some ducks to steal their wet bread. He's also thinking of, probably trying to provide for his family, taking that wet bread home.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I felt like Nelson was a lot of fun in this episode. But you're right, Homer's lines were probably the most poignant. I think my favorite scene was that one with Homer and Marge, and Homer talking about Bart. It's fine for Bart to accept cash with sucking up to people. And then, of course, Chalmers and Skinner, their scene, and especially Agnes not wanting her son to be his caddy. But all in all, Steve, what do you give this episode? What's your review?
Oh, well, Craig, I think this is a fun episode. It's a very singular episode. And even though it did end in the end of February, it has a nice, light summer feel. It does kind of, you mentioned the Saved by the Bell resort episodes. And that's kind of what this feels like. It feels like it's away from Springfield proper, even though it is in the center of Springfield. Bart being a caddy and sucking up seems like something that he would do. And I like Marge's objection to it as it being kind of amoral and sleazy. And I like that he got his revenge. I think Bildorf is a fun villain. I wish they would have dove into him a bit more, but I think he does his role nice. It's cool to see Kevin Michael Richardson take his role as Hibbert. Ultimately, I think this is a good episode. Maybe not my favorite, but it's fun. I think it's definitely a watch. And so out of a 72 par, I'm going to give this a 82, which is worse because golf is confusing as a scoring mechanism, but not as bad as tennis. What are your thoughts, Craig?
Yeah, I too enjoyed this episode. It does feel like a fun episode to watch in the middle of the summer. I don't know, we talk about how Simpsons reference or parody a movie that's 5 years too late, and yet a parody of Caddyshack at this time was 30 years old. But I think Caddyshack is one of those timeless comedies that I think it's okay. I'll give it a pass. I mean, they had to do a couple Caddyshack references, and I love it. I mean, they did the song and then Ralph as the gopher at the end. I'm not sure if everyone's seen Caddyshack, but it's one of those, when you're a kid, you're supposed to watch it,
I also want to mention, I may amend my MBJ, because now that I think about it, Ralph did a good job. I know he's like to be skeptical of Ralph, but I really like Tummer, and I like him as the gopher. Ralph's going to be my guy.
All right. Hey, I think that's a first on this podcast for Ralph.
Yeah.
All right. Good job, Ralph. Good job, Ralph.
Yay.
Thanks. I was I could probably insert a clip, but I'm just going to use your voice. But yeah, that being said, the A story, I liked how the whole story was just one A story, which is, I'm a fan of doing the A stories rather than they always having a B story, of course. But it did feel like kind of classic-y feeling Simpsons with Marge and Homer. The dynamic of them, the pros and cons of what Bart's doing, and then, of course, the dig at our capitalistic society. So, good on you, Simpsons, for this one. I think it's a watch. It's a lot of fun. And if I gave this a ranking, Steve, do you know how old the oldest golf course is?
I do not.
Well, I'll let you know. It's in Scotland.
Of course.
And it's believed to be established in the year 1552.
Whoa.
So about 472 years ago. So if I gave this a ranking, I would give it the ranking your dad would be if he, the age he would be if he was still alive today. And that is 469 years old.
Nice.
But yeah, a lot of fun. Not many complaints for me, Steve.
Yeah, I think it's a great episode. No complaints.
All right. Well, I think we had fun with our WAD. And I think we've had fun with Wheel of Random, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a nice skip down memory lane. Well, I feel like some episodes weren't as good as we wanted them to be, and some are pretty good. Like this one, I'm glad we ended on like a positive note, because next week, Steve, we're back, we're new, and we're better than ever. That's right. A brand new episode of The Simpsons is coming out. At least we think it is. Hopefully it is. On March 30th of 2025.
Wow.
Episode 783, of course, Steve, season 36, episode 12. What would you title that episode?
Well, this episode was entitled Wad Goals, which of course is a take on the popular term squad goals. And when I think of squadrons, I think of the Jedi and the Rebel Alliance. And so I think of, just the whole Star Wars world and how wonderful it is. So I'm going to say the next week's episode is CP3 Doe, or CP3 Annoyed Grunt.
I have no idea what that episode would be about, and I'm not going to try because that's not what we do. Because that is not the episode, Steve. But of course, it is a take on a famous title from a movie. Not sure if it was a book first. Could have been. It's a parody of a Colin Farrell project, The Banshees of Inisherin. But this one is called The Flanshees of Inner Simpson.
Oh.
But what do you think that episode's about?
I've seen that movie, and so I know it's about a broken friendship, so I think that it's kind of a retake. We talked about Homer Loves Flanders, so I think of this one, Homer becomes Ned's friend, and Ned decides that he doesn't want to be his friend anymore. And in the B-plot, Barry Keoghan fucks a hole in the ground.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's it at all. In fact, it says, Bart dips his toes in the world of celebrity DJing, and in the B story, Homer finally pushes Flanders too far. So, if the A story is Bart being a celebrity DJ, why isn't it called Bart DJing the episode?
That would make more sense.
But this is just the information we have right now. Who knows? Maybe the A and B stories are switched.
Yeah, and some of those synopses they put in there don't make any sense at all. So this could be completely different.
It could be. It could be Homer finally pushes Flanders into a jar.
And maybe Bart does his goes to cosplays as Candace Cameron.
Yes.
That's my favorite celebrity DJ.
What about DJ Connor?
Oh, yeah. It's a kid, right? The youngest one?
Yeah, it's the kid.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, we got some voices. We got Rachel Bloom as Annette.
Oh, fun.
We got Fiona Shaw as Miss McCormick. Looking forward to that. I love Fiona Shaw. Of course, you all know her as the aunt from the Harry Potter movies. What's her name? Petunia?
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, Star Wars Andor, Season 1. But the biggest guest star to do a voice is for a character called Constance Harm. That's right, Jane Kasmerick is back.
Wow.
As Constance Harm. Yeah.
It's been a minute, as the kids say.
Look, we're going to have a Jane Kasmerick renaissance, I'd say, in like a year or two. With the revitalized 5-episode miniseries of Malcolm in the Middle. I think people are like, oh yeah, look how great she was. Why did we stop hiring her? I don't know. Maybe she just semi-retired. Who knows? But I think she'll be back and she'll win awards like she should.
Yes, I hope she does.
Steve, are you excited for new Simpsons? Are you going to make some popped corn and drink frosty Duff beer?
I'm going to make myself a frosty milkshake and maybe make some muffins.
Maybe have a potato by you because you just think they're neat.
Exactly.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for listening again. And hey, contact us on social medias like Instagram, Threads, or YouTube at 138Simpsons, or email us at 138Simpsons@gmail.com.
And hey, if you're so kind, go to your favorite podcatching app, leave us 5 stars or the equivalent, but you needn't write an actual review. Just tell us who you would suck up to for wads of cash.
And check out our TeePublic store at tpublic.com/user/annoyedgruntboys for some fun, swag, and hella good-looking items.
Hella yeah.
All right. Thanks again for listening. I've been Annoyed Gruntboy Craig.
And I've been Annoyed Gruntboy Steve.
And remember, you are the shining star that guides this podcast through darkness.
Wow. Like every new religion, it turns into a sex cult.
Look away, pervs!